There once was a man named Gold Roger who was king of the pirates. He had fame, power, and wealth beyond your wildest dreams. Before they hung him from the gallows, these were the final words he said.
Our perspective is yours for the taking, but you'll have to join us first. We left everything we debated at the Yonkō Table.
Ever since, pirates from all over the world set sail for the Grand Line, searching for the Yonkō Table, the table that will make their dreams come true. Yo, everyone. The Yonkō Table has set sail yet again on this week's episode for The Batman. We're here to talk about Robert Pattinson and Matt Reeves' special take on the titular character, the Dark Knight, I don't know what are some of his other names or monikers he goes by.
Caped Crusader,
the Adam West variant. You're right.
Oh, that's not what I was thinking, but whatever.
But we're here to talk everything Batman, from the villains, the themes, just the aesthetic, the cinematography. We got the whole 9 yards here to talk about the Batman. But before we begin, with me as always, you just heard him right now, Grandmaster, fellow Yonkō Hoop. I mixed it all together.
You butchered that.
It was terrible. But the Batman, are you excited?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm definitely excited to talk about the Batman. I'm gonna refer to him for the rest of this cast as the Batman.
Not Battinson.
No, not Battinson. No, I'm not gonna do that because I felt, and we'll get into this more. I enjoy what I watched thoroughly, and we'll get into this, but I'm here for the Batman. I'm here for Matt Reeves. Been a fan of Matt Reeves, excited to hear when he jumped on this project. We all had our skepticism going in. I like to say they delivered, so I'm here ready to talk about it.
Likewise with the rest of us. And with us as well is a new and up-and-coming supernova joining the pod today, DJ SyXx. DJ, you're here?
Yes, sir. I'm here. I'm excited for the podcast. I'm so glad to be welcomed here. Thank you guys once again. And, as a Batman fan, I'm so much a Batman fan. I have my dog, Ace. Come here. I named my dog Ace. I just want y'all to see it real quick. Yeah, just so you know, I'm not fake like the rest of these guys. Here's my dog.
That's
perfect. Look at Ace the Bat Hound.
Ace the Bat Hound. Yes, sir. But yeah, once again, thank you guys for having me. So excited for the conversation.
Pleasure to have you here, man. Already fitting the theme. We're already in the Batman mood. So I'm excited as much as you guys to talk about this. But we have other supernovas with us as well. And let's jump straight into it. Overall thoughts, just going right in. What did you guys think about the Batman? You don't have to go into too many specifics, but was it worth the wait? Because this movie was supposed to come out like 2 years ago? Was it a year and a half? 2020? 2021?
2020. No, it was supposed to come out in 2020. I think it was originally set for like Halloween 2020. I think that's right. And I mean, fittingly, because the movie takes place during Halloween.
Oh wow, that would have fit perfectly.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then just COVID and everything pushed it back. Was it worth the wait? Yeah.
And I guess that's another thing too. Like, how far back are we going? Was it worth the wait since we got news that a Batman solo film was happening? Like way back then,
okay.
Or is it worth the wait from the delays that we got for the movie?
I would say it's worth the delays since the movie was announced. I mean, it's kind of hard to be excited for this Batman project. I don't know how y'all feel about Batfleck, but a lot of people like Batfleck, and they like his interpretation of Batman. So it was kind of weird to have this project coming out. No Batfleck project coming out, or the Batfleck project was dead on arrival. The project
became this new The Batman.
Right, because there was conflict in the story and what they were trying to do.
They never raised any specifics. They just said, Ben Affleck was on board to write, direct, and star in a solo Batman movie. And whether it was disagreements with the studios or problems with the project, he eventually just left. And that's when Matt Reeves came in. He did his thing. And then we had Robert Pattinson taking the mantle. and now we're here. But I take it, like, was the film good overall though? Like, what you thought about it?
I'm gonna let these supernovas go in.
Supernovas,
first.
take it.
Yes.
What you got?
Yeah, the movie was worth the wait. Sure, like Batfleck, it wasn't Batfleck, but Robert Pattinson is a great actor. He has done great movies before, so I had no doubt he was going to pull it through, and he did pull it through. And this rendition of the Dark Knight was just wow. Like, it was something refreshing, something we haven't seen in superhero movies.
Yeah, I have to also agree. Worth the wait is almost an understatement, but I'm a little biased. I can't lie. It's just not to get too deep into it. I guess we can get into it later, but Matt Reeves did a really good job at setting a platform to grow. Unlike every other film or any other Batman film, like, yeah, they may have really explored Gotham, you know, like with Christian Bale, but this one, like, just with the first film, you can see it going into, you know, Court of Owls. You can see it going into like Penguins, you know, dominating his own industry, and then, you know, the Riddler, how he just came to be. I don't know if you guys know, but you know, there was a pre-book that before the movie. It kind of gave you. I'm just gonna show you it real quick.
Oh, look at this man! He's prepared.
Ooh, nice.
It's
Is it like a
not know
graphic
about that
novel?
book.
It's a really short book. It's a good read. It comes with like a poster and everything, and it gives you kind of. So this is based off of year 2 Batman, the movie. So that book is kind of year 1. Does that make sense?
Ah, okay.
Ooh, okay.
So it shows you literally when he gets back from boarding school, when he runs into Alfred for the first time, what he thought, what he wanted to do, his psychology and everything. So Matt Reeves really thought
That's
this
interesting.
through.
Yo, wait. So Matt Reeves wrote that book? Is that by Matt Reeves or?
No, I do not.
I take it he probably approved of it.
Yeah,
Or he was probably involved in the process.
That's
Right.
what I mean by it. But the author, special edition, it's by David Lumen. I don't know if you guys can
David
see.
Lumen. Okay.
I mean, I'll take it if Reeves was a
Yeah.
part of that project. You know.
Mhm.
Uh,
No, it's
Imagine
actually,
so.
if you at the ending of it almost carries over right after into the movie, so it's pretty accurate. Like, I would be shocked if Matt Reeves didn't approve it, kind of way.
Nice. I mean, no, I definitely agree that, you know, I didn't think the film was perfection as some media outlets painted it out to be, but I did think what it did well, it did really well. Like, I love this portrayal of Gotham. And it's kind of like what you guys were saying too. Like, I feel like without pandering, like, kind of like to that Marvel formula where they set up like, you know, they tease a character here and you're like, oh, well, there's going to be a movie about that guy eventually. I feel like the world that they built with Gotham, it seems real. Like, I believe this world exists in the context of the movie. I feel like this film overall is probably the most, I'll put this in big air quotes, the most Batman movie that
Most
we've
put together Batman movie for sure. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
right.
Yes.
And I mean, and of course, you know, people are going to be divided on that because it's like, well, what's your definition of a Batman movie, or what is your definition of Batman in general? Because for me, at least, I needed the noir setting nailed perfectly. I feel like it did that. I needed the fear of Batman nailed perfectly. Not to say that element was never explored in the previous movies, but at least in this one,
Emphasize. Sure.
Yeah.
Only
Yeah.
Batfleck really put the fear with Batman. So I get exactly what you're saying. I was going to touch on that too, but please finish your thought. Go
right.
ahead.
Right. No, I mean, like, I feel like, you know, Batfleck did it well, but like, you know, you have moments like we'll get into specifics later on, but like you have moments where like there's just pitch blackness in an alleyway. And it's like the theme. I think the theme is called it's rain. Oh my God, it's raining vengeance. Raining vengeance. That's the theme.
Good
That's
title.
It's perfect.
No,
And I'm
like, it was just so well made. Like, how he got into, like, you could see and feel how he got into all the criminal psyche. Like, just at the beginning of the film, it's like, yeah, when the bat signal's in the air, it's a warning, and you see all the criminals looking at all the alleyways.
I thought that was genius.
Like they look
thought it
at
was
all
good.
the alleyways. It's like they don't know that I'm there. They think I'm right around the corner, right, just creeping in the darkness. It's like, and the music and the freaking music.
Music was on
The
point.
score was amazing.
No, the music was amazing.
Shout out to Giacchino. That was really
Jesus.
good. Let me say this, when talking about, this film compared to other Batman films, I think what I would like to say maybe Tim Burton kind of did a very good job with this. Gotham is itself a character that is integral to the Batman films. Like, if you don't nail the city of Gotham, then it just doesn't seem, you don't have much of a Batman film. Like, as Christopher Nolan films are great. I don't think he necessarily nailed the aesthetic and the look of Gotham.
Christopher Nolan's Batman, great as they are, Gotham just looks like your run-of-the-mill big city.
Yes, and that's partially due to he films the first two in Chicago, films the next one in Pittsburgh. I have no idea where this one was. I'm like, damn,
it's probably Gotham. They probably I don't know where
it's just the city has a life of its own.
Mm-hmm.
In the movie.
Dark, gritty life.
I'm not sure. Like, it's scary to be there.
I'm not sure if it was Frank Miller or Bob Kane himself, but I'm pretty sure he based Gotham off of Chicago and New York, mainly Chicago, and that's why Christopher Nolan chose Chicago to film in.
Tell me, didn't I tell you to stop referring to Bob Kane? Remember I put you onto that documentary?
I already know Bill Finger too, but I'm just saying.
Say his name.
Bill Finger, of course. Bill Finger, of course. But I'm just saying, Gotham was based off of Chicago, so to film it there, the aesthetic comic book wise wasn't there, but Christopher Nolan's vision obviously wasn't.
The realistic, yes.
Yeah.
The realism was there with the Nolan films. This one, it still felt real, but a lot of this film just felt really, as we said,
comic.
Straight out the comic, right?
Straight out the comic, and just like really emphasizing like the gothic nature of Gotham.
Minus the camp, minus the campiness of it all.
They didn't have to do it, and that's great. We got the Gotham element. What about the central character, Pattinson? Robert Pattinson, yay or nay? Are we here for more?
Hold up, but how many of y'all were not here prior to it?
I was indifferent. Because, and my point to that was, I remember when they announced Ben Affleck as Batman back when they did Man of Steel. Everyone lost their minds. They're like, "Oh my God, terrible choice! Why they choose Ben Affleck? They should have chose." And then they gave like a whole list of like all these other actors that should be playing Batman. I was kind of indifferent as well. I was like, "Ugh, Ben Affleck, really?" Regardless of what the quality of the DCEU movies, I liked Batfleck's portrayal. Right.
I did too.
I liked
Justice League. I can agree with you.
Right. And I mean, people always go to the warehouse scene in Batman versus Superman. God tier scene. Unfortunately, it's the only one that we got done well.
That's all you needed.
And it's like, wow, get me a movie about this, like this. I'm here for it. Ben Affleck, you sold me. So when Robert Pattinson was announced as the next Batman, I was like, dude, listen, you know what? People talk smack about Ben Affleck. Look what he did. He had one scene. He had one good scene, and it was great. I was like, all right, I have to wait and see what Robert Pattinson's like. I've only known him as the Twilight, vampire, zombie, whatever. But he's been in movies since then. I didn't really watch any of them, but I know his acting chops have to be up to snuff to be starring in all these other films outside of Twilight.
Especially with those other A-list actors that he was with.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What about you guys? Were you guys on board for Pattinson? Were you aware of his films before this?
I was aware of his films. Like, just like you include like Water for Elephants, like The King, which is in Netflix. Like he's amazing in those movies. Like those movies alone can kind of tell you, okay, this guy's much more than Twilight. Twilight just put him up there, like, and gave him a platform to go and do better movies. So I was actually really excited and didn't doubt he was going to do a good job here.
I don't think I doubted him too hard or too much. My biggest thing going in was like when I saw the shots of him as Bruce Wayne, because my biggest thing was like, it's kind of harder to play Bruce Wayne than it is Batman, because when it's Bruce Wayne, you have to get across. And I stand by, this was like Nolan's films did a good job of Bruce Wayne is the mask and Batman is the character. And so I always kind of rode that line with Batman interpretations. When I saw the hair and the whatnot, and I was like, oh man, he's not really giving me Bruce Wayne. But that's crazy because when you watch the movie, it makes sense that this dude is unkept. His hair looks like he's some emo goth kid because this portrayal that he gave us, he does not care about Bruce Wayne one bit. He cares about Batman and he cares about getting shit done. And I think he did an excellent job getting that across. And that's
so you
what
think
makes
he nailed both characters, Bruce Wayne and Batman?
So, with all this said, Batman is still a hard character to come off. Say what you want about, Christian Bale. A lot of people don't like his Batman voice. Michael Keaton, I think, does a really good job of balancing a Batman voice and a Bruce Wayne voice. This dude, I loved his Batman. He's a young Batman. He's fresh, and you feel that, he's 2 years in. He's getting his feet wet. But he's like, it's like a kid who tries too hard. He's like, I'm trying to instill fear in you, and it feels like he's trying really hard. Say again, what were you saying, SyXx?
I was saying his intimidation technique wasn't down yet.
Exactly, right. And I mean, that's what I think they were going for. It's like, if you're not sold on his performance, that's the whole point. Because by the end of the movie, just where he is as a character, I can see in the next film it being a lot more different from how he's grown. So I give like 2 thumbs up to this dude. And he definitely beat my expectations. Whatever expectations I had, he beat them. So
for Pattinson, honestly, so I'm gonna say this, but I'm gonna say it loosely. I was a Twilight fan. All right, I don't care what anyone says.
There is no shame. There is no shame.
So when everyone obviously dissed Twilight, I was like, I could see why it's horrible, but it was entertaining. And at the end of the day, I mean, it was based off of a book, and we all know how that works. You're just trying to pretty much condense it as much as you can for a screening audience. It's not made for the book readers. It's to integrate new people into film. But not to talk about Twilight. Fast forward, I was excited when he was announced. I was more so excited because something that to me was never done right for Bruce Wayne was that they never made him a pretty boy. He was pretty for the older crowd for sure, but Bruce Wayne in the comics was pretty for everyone. People like girls from 18 and up were like, oh, Bruce Wayne, but 18 and up girls aren't going to say that to Christian Bale or Ben Affleck. That's like 30 years old plus. But the point was,
Uh-oh.
We might
I
be
think
losing
you're
them.
breaking up.
I just texted him. Oh boy.
Heartthrob, that was supposed to be in play. So announcing Robert Pattinson, or is it breaking up?
Yeah, you kind of broke off when you what part was it?
I think you're saying, Robert Pattinson came in with the heartthrob already.
Yeah, a billion Playboy heart. Yeah.
Oh no.
Like you said, this is year 2. Forget it. I'll come back. Move on.
That's okay. That's okay.
It's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
That's all right. It happens. Get your signal right. You're still here. No, I think you're right though. Christian Bale was an unknown relatively to a mainstream audience. Right. So I think he lost that, to a mainstream DrMondo, like, film aficionados knew him from like The Mechanist,
American Psycho.
Shoot, if you want to even take it back some, Newsies and whatnot. But yeah, no, I don't think he came in with the heartthrob. Shoot, the only other heartthrob I can think that probably came in where people were like, oh, that's a heartthrob, was probably like George Clooney.
Right. Yeah, that was more on its face. Yeah, the bat nips and
right.
Oh, no.
Shoot, even Val Kilmer, Iceman from Top Gun. I think he even had more of a heartthrob appeal. So
Right.
Robert Pattinson does bring in that appeal to Bruce Wayne.
At least eventually, though. I'm not saying right now, obviously. Just when he was announced, I was like, okay, they're gonna, implement that, hopefully. Like you said, it's year 2. When it past is over, whatever. If they make a sequel, I think that's confirmed. Let's hope they fast forward to like year 5 Batman, you know, so we can actually see him do the Bruce Wayne that we want to see. Because right now he's supposed to be psychologically broken and still trying to figure himself out.
And you know what's great about that, the whole psychological aspect, they still nailed that part without having to recap that stupid origin story.
Don't call it stupid.
They just mentioned it.
They mentioned it.
And they mentioned it in the best way. It's like a news story saying it's the anniversary of their death, never forgotten. Boom.
And that's all you need. That's all you need. You don't need to see a flashback of Martha Wayne's pearls dropping in the alleyway. Like we've seen it.
You know, they didn't show it, and they did do the news frame, but different from any other film, it kind of played an integral part to the overall theming. And I guess now we're getting into the story element, talking about the story itself and what we liked. I really like how they interwove it into the overarching theme of, you know, corruption and, you know, just the overall sense that everybody in the city of Gotham is either not who they say they are, or how much is your pocket worth, you know, like how deep is your pocket, how can I get in there? And that's a different take that the Waynes, always morally built as these righteous people helping the downtrodden.
I think in most portrayals, right? Like they're mostly portrayed as like these beacons of hope, perfection, and I mean, the movie basically showed that even they had some flaws.
Yeah. There's also references. I mean, if we're speaking strictly film, then yeah, of course, they've always been held at a higher moral standing than anyone else in the city. But in the comics, they did kind of teeter on the moral good standing and the bad standing. There were times where they're, you know, a part of the Court of Owls and things like that.
Oh, the grandfather.
Oh, right.
Mm-hmm. So it's like it teeters back and forth. Just depends what age of Batman you're going with and which story you really want to rock with. But yeah, they can be good or they can be bad. I mean, we all know what happened with Thomas Wayne when Bruce died in the alley. So it's not like it's far from them. Right. It's not. So
I think that's what I appreciated with this movie, at least. It kind of took, and I hate to make the comparison, but it kind of took the Spider-Man Homecoming approach, where I think when Marvel was making at least the initial Spider-Man movie, they respected the fact that most people already know about Uncle Ben. They know about the spider biting, you know, Peter, and then he gets the powers.
Don't have to like repeat the origin story that everyone knows.
Exactly. Like, and so I feel like they took that with Batman. They're like, listen, it's Batman, right? Everyone knows. So that while still keeping true to the overall theme, they still find a way to tie it back in to the overall plot by mentioning it, like kind of paying respects to it, but at the same time respecting, I guess, the intelligence of the audience and recognizing Batman's a pop culture icon. Like he's been around for 60 plus years, you know, and everyone knows his origin story. So I did like how they wove it into the story, especially with, you know, showing that even characters like Martha and Thomas Wayne, they weren't perfect in this interpretation.
No, and even like what I really liked is like tying it all in. You see at the beginning of the movie, he's like, his purpose, like Bruce Wayne, Batman's purpose, is kind of like to continue his father's legacy. So, and like when the truth comes out, like, you know, he's broken, he has no purpose, and then he finds his own purpose in the movie. So but the way he arrives to all that, I didn't find it cliche or anything. It was actually like very organic, very like, okay, this flowed perfectly. So like it just tied in everything. There wasn't a single, like I didn't find anything that was like either extra or too little in that case.
Yeah, no. So like what you're saying with tying everything, it was like, you know, here you come. He's like gung-ho, ready to be Batman, you know. I think, oh man, like thematically, you know, just with the Riddler always saying, you're a part of this too. Yeah. You know, you started this, you know, it's like
he inspired him.
He never thought that his parents could be part of the problem. you know.
Right.
And when that reality hits him, it's like, you know, he's in denial at first, and then, you know, what really hits him too is then Alfred comes and says, yeah, man, they did that. They paid Falcone to get that reporter. But they didn't want to kill him. How are you going to tell a crime mob guy, hey, this guy's saying stuff about us in the paper. Take care of him.
Of all the words to use, the phrases.
He said to scare them.
Scare them.
Just
Scare
break
them to
his
death.
legs. I don't care. Just hurt him.
Oh God, it's just like, so then, you know, again, thematically, it's just like everybody's seeking vengeance for something, and it makes perfect
Important
sense.
theme. In the
Right,
movie.
right. And that was also, it does all just tying together, because again, he's gung-ho about being Batman. I'm vengeance. Well, this guy's vengeance too, just for a different reason. And he's going away about it differently. He's gonna blow up a guy on live Twitch or, you know,
Twitch.
or whatever. Because
You're right. On YouTube Live.
Vengeance has no good or evil. Vengeance is vengeance. So
Right.
you know, you got to be more than vengeance. And I think the
And you
story
even see that in the first scene too.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Like-
yes.
Like, even though he's badass in that initial scene where he's fighting those Joker thugs.
No, they were okay. You think they were Penguin Thug? Oh, you talking about the Penguin Thugs, or when he fought in the alleyway with the clown?
In the
people?
subway.
Oh, wait, the subway, yeah, wasn't that penguins?
Listen, man, you got a clown mask.
They got
Yeah.
makeup, man. They had clown makeup. I don't know.
I saw it black and white, and I pictured the video games because, you know, like the Arkham games, Penguin henchmen wore black and white face paint, and then Jokers, yeah, they wore masks.
They wore noses too.
Yeah.
And I will say, in Tim Burton's Batman Returns, the Penguin Thugs were all
Also had the
circus
black
and clowns.
Yeah, you're right. So, I
But
don't know.
either way,
yeah.
you
Continue.
see him, you know, bringing vengeance down on everybody. But who's to
Immediately.
say this dude can't bring vengeance
That
in
civilian,
his own way?
That civilian was terrified of him.
Right.
He was like, bro, like,
Don't hurt me.
Don't hurt me. Like, where's Superman?
But I mean, in a way, in a place like Gotham, I think it is better even for the civilians to be scared of him, just because that, you know, it fits his character. Even the smallest amount of people are like, oh, Batman's not that bad of a guy, then the fear is already being taken out. Even if it is just the good guys, bad guys will catch on to that too. Already in Christian Bale's movies, there are a lot of villains. Who was it? It wasn't Falcone. Maroni was like, oh, Joker doesn't have any rules. You can't scare me from here. Like, you can do whatever you want. And even Batman was like, yeah, he's kind of right. I'll just drop him off this building anyways. But it really is like that.
Yeah, even with that said too, it's like if the overall theme of, you know, anyone can be corruptible or morally, you know, ambiguous in terms of, you know, right from wrong, you need to be afraid of Batman.
Yeah.
Batman needs to strike fear in you to be like, okay, I'm gonna stay on the righteous path and the good path, you know, because you cross that line and you're not scared of Batman, then he's not doing his job right.
Right. I think it's supposed to be that balance, which I think he kind of found towards the end of the movie, where
Yes, he
it's
did.
like, I think, you know, as the years go on with that Batman character, I think, you know, civilians, they'll be ecstatic when they see Batman coming in, because they're like, okay, I'm not gonna die tonight. The villains, on the other hand, they're gonna be like, oh, so I'm dying. I'm the one that's gonna get my ass kicked.
You guys ever wonder where Batman's actually does turn a blind eye? Like, does he go around breaking people's arms that sell eights at, you know, or like a dub of weed? Does he just do that? Does he just start breaking ankles and stuff?
A crime is a crime in
He's
Batman's eye.
You better stop selling. You just break his neck. It's like, oh my God, I don't even smoke. I was just here.
Absolute justice.
Absolute justice.
I always wonder, like, where does he stop at, you know?
I would like to think he lets street level officers handle those
You would think.
Right.
problems.
I think he handles the violent crimes.
Yeah.
You
You'd
know,
be like, it's 10:30. Why not? I have time.
I gotta meet my quota. But aside from the Batman, you know, what did you guys think about the supporting characters? Because we got a huge list of characters in this movie, and usually I think that's a good sign. I mean, like, because overall, I thought most of the supporting cast did their jobs well. That's really hard to do in a movie like this, because then it kind of feels bloated in a lot of ways. We've seen it in comparison, in some Marvel movies, the more characters you have, it kind of becomes a problem giving each character enough screen time and, you know, giving a crap about every single person. I can tell you right now, I feel like 80 to 90% of the supporting cast in this did their jobs well. The Riddler as the main villain,
The Riddler was amazing. The Riddler was amazing.
The Riddler was fantastic. Now, my question to you guys is: do you think he dove a little too deep into that Joker persona, where he's like on edge, loose a little bit? Nothing.
I don't see that, because honestly, the Riddler, first of all, is one of Batman's first and classic villains as well, and people almost forget that because of how much he's not put in anything.
Right.
Besides Jim Carrey, shout out to my dog. But yeah, no, they really just, the Riddler is like that. He is that mentally insane. He is on the verge of, I'll kill you just because you're not solving a riddle. He is crazy, bro. Like, the Joker is nuts for sure. Even the Riddler would say he's insane, because at least he has structure. The Joker has nothing. He just
Joker is pure chaos. It's like,
yeah, but the Riddler is like that too. But yeah, go on. What you were saying, Antonio?
No, like the Riddler, like I forget the name of the actor. Like, honestly,
Paul Dano.
Paul Dano, he killed it. Like, he was terrifying. Like, he was freaking terrifying. Like, I got chills in the movie. Like, for me to have chills in a movie, I'm like, I was so glued to his performance. Every time he came up, it was like, oh shit.
It was very unnerving.
It was what the fuck? And the ways he killed his victims, the way he left the clues, everything.
It was almost just Saw inspired.
Yeah,
like Jigsaw.
There was one I maybe like saw it wrong in a movie, or there was like the guy with the rats.
The rat.
Like, I think that's a medieval torture device that you cage the rats, and the only ways the rats can get out of the cage is actually eating through you.
They burrow out looking
they
for
burrow out, and like that was just like, fuck.
That's brutal. And I mean, like, I feel like if it wasn't restricted, like I'm okay with the movie being PG-13. I feel like if it didn't have that restriction, you may have seen more of those trap elements. Because I feel like even though we got, for the most part, what the traps were, we didn't really get to see what some
like
of
what they did.
Exactly. You're just left to imagine, which in some cases the imagination is much better, because you're like, oh my God, I can only imagine what that guy went through. Yeah. Do you guys feel like the Riddler, with his character as delivering riddles for Batman to solve, do you guys feel like he did that element well? Because again, Matt Reeves saying, I want to emphasize the detective aspect of Batman. Like, did you guys think that Riddler delivered on that aspect along with, Batman?
Yeah, like the way he was leading Batman on to the next clue, and even kind of tricking him with his own riddles. Like, like La Rada Lada. Something like, I think it was that was like
Spanish.
He was like,
you know Spanish?
He definitely was the smartest man in the room, but the Riddler was always a step ahead of him.
Yeah.
But that kind of, even in the comics, Batman and Riddler's like battle is always like that, where Riddler can be smarter than Batman, but he's so quick and excited to beat him, he slips up, to be honest.
Hubris.
Yeah, if he wasn't so excited to beat Batman, then he probably would have beat Batman. But Batman knows where he falls at, so he plays on that, at least later on, when they start, going back and forth more. And Batman's like, I know where you're going to slip up because you're getting too close. And that's always his downfall.
I think, back to when you were saying, did he fall into Joker level territory? This Riddler always had a goal in mind, as far as, they like to say,
outsmart the Bat.
Well, no, he didn't want to outsmart him. He wanted him to join him in this. You know,
Yeah.
you're bringing down vengeance.
He saw the Batman as, one, you were my inspiration. Two, it's like we both want the same thing, but your methods and mine are different.
Right. And then also he's just fixated on riddles.
Like fixated on riddles, and obviously he's much more extreme. Like, I want to unmask the city, like unmask it completely just by just killing everyone. That's fine. Like,
I think another difference.
He wants to cleanse the city of all the corruption.
Renewal. He wanted true renewal
between him and Joker, because he wants to cleanse the city and Joker wants to embrace its dirty side.
Yeah,
Joker wants it to be dirty. He wants you to be like, yo, be yourself. Go ahead, break, crack, do what you got to do, but embrace it. I do it gladly. I do it happy every day with no problems, almost off rip. I think another difference is that, you know, Riddler complains a lot about what he doesn't accomplish. Joker is just like, I'll do it next time.
All right.
Yeah. He's like, oh, you beat me? Well, I got another one cooking. You know?
Harley? Oh, wait, who did that? That was really good.
Thank you.
That was really good.
I've been telling Grandmaster for
I didn't know Mark Hamill was in here.
Oh, God. Don't feed his ego.
No, I needed that. I appreciated SyXx.
I would just like to say, I think Paul Dano just did a really good job as far as you felt like you were watching a serial killer, you know? Yeah. He was very methodical, not just with the riddles alone, but like every victim, I don't know if you noticed, he's duct taping everybody as if he's got another fixation. He's like, ugh.
His breathing,
it's always the same.
Yeah, it's an MO. It's like, you know, the things they look for at a crime scene. So it really does fit the detective style film. Like, the Riddler was a really good choice if you were going for this detective film.
Oh, it's perfect.
That was the perfect villain, I think,
Riddler
to capture that.
And I think it's like a good choice overall, because, you know, you run into this problem when you've done superhero movies for so long of the same character. You know, everyone before you has done the popular ones that people want to see. You already did Mr. Freeze. You already got Joker. You already got Scarecrow. So, you know, who else do you have left? And I feel
they even did the Riddler as well.
Right, exactly. And like, you know, that was more like in a comical sense. Heavy camp. So it's like, okay, well, what character can I go back and deliver this theme of like, they're not done to death. So people are not just going to come to the movies and be like, oh, another Joker movie, you know? Like, the Riddler was a perfect choice. The Riddler was a perfect choice for this type of film.
Yeah. And it's crazy how they even struggle to really bring out a villain for a Batman film. Because let's be honest, this roster of villains are almost all iconic.
Huge roster.
Iconic.
It's literally Spider-Man level. Like, they're like,
it's more than Spider-Man level, whatever.
More.
No, it is. No, it is.
Seniority, I guess.
Right, it is. But I mean, it's
single-handedly. It's more than the entire Spider-Man.
I will acknowledge that. That is a fact.
But you're right too. Like, bringing Riddler and making it not comedic, the same way they did with Bane. You know, when they took him and brought him back with Christopher Nolan, it was like you need to realize these villains actually cause Batman problems, because if we keep them like how they used to be, why is Batman even fighting these guys?
Clowns.
Just slipping on banana peels from the Riddler. I don't know. But so it seems that we agree for the most part on the Riddler as a, you know, the main villain. What about the other elephant in the room, Catwoman?
Gorgeous. I love it.
You said a cat in the room.
Oh, the cat in the
I mean, whatever.
Missed opportunity. Next time.
For the next one.
Zoe Kravitz killed it. Like,
I'm indifferent
too.
I liked her rendition of Catwoman a lot.
Her rendition is not my issue. My issue is I think she's underutilized heavily. And I know sentiments of Captain Falcon. She's over here like, now granted, she's a Halle Berry stan, so I don't know if that even
questionable.
Very questionable.
I just hate how they made her. My only real complaint is that they made her pretty good for the most part, like a good guy.
Yeah. She's not an anti-hero.
I didn't like that.
That is true.
I loved her.
It was
She
too
killed it.
morally right.
Yeah, and Catwoman is always like, I'm gonna do what I want, and I don't know. It just felt too.
Someone's
good.
agreeing with your sentiments over here.
For sure. I mean, like Zoe Kravitz, I have no problems with her portraying Catwoman. I think, you know, she has the aesthetic for it. And I think, you know, in a lot of, there's a lot of scenes where I feel like, wow, this is Catwoman. But I think, I don't know if it's Matt Reeves' direction, or I don't know if it's, you know, Warner Brothers, you know, dipping their executive hands into the pot saying like, yo, I did not like how Catwoman had to be saved almost practically every scene she was in from Batman. I didn't like that, because to me, Catwoman, like the whole purpose of Catwoman is that she is independent from Batman. She is doing her own thing. She can handle her own in a fight. She can handle her own in a debate in her own way of like, you know, I steal things to I don't know, because I like jewelry. I just like it. I don't need a moral compass. I just want that. I want that diamond.
What I want, yeah.
It's what I want. So when you have scenes, and this is like almost every scene she's in, she does something silly where I'm like, why did Catwoman do that? And then you have Robert Pattinson coming in and saving the day, and I'm like, come on, Catwoman could have handled that on her own. You know, honestly, I don't know. That's just
broke my mind. No, I agree with you 100%. Bringing the movie back in my head, yeah, she really did get saved every time. But now I'm gonna challenge what you just said and what I just said about her. It's just too early. It's year 2 Batman. Imagine what year it is for Catwoman. It might be 6 months.
It could be.
Really know. So she doesn't even have the characteristics as the Catwoman we know yet. Maybe she does turn more morally bad when she gets more intertwined in the city. Maybe she can carry her own when she starts actually having the experience. Because if Batman is struggling, who's already trained, Catwoman never trained. She just got powers and kicked ass. Like that's kind of or whatever re-edition of Catwoman you want. She just got her
superpowers.
I think the most well-known one. I guess if you go off of film, Halle Berry had powers.
Mm-hmm.
Michelle Pfeiffer had powers.
And Hathaway had powers.
And Hathaway did not have powers. She
just kicked ass.
But yeah, no, it makes sense though when you say it is year 2 for Batman.
I never even considered it year 2 or year whatever for Catwoman.
Right?
Yeah. You gave me that because I was like, yo, she is okay.
Yeah, I would. I mean, if they had that in mind, that's perfect. If they didn't, then they suck. But if we see her in a sequel,
they'll listen to this pod and they'll be like, "Oh,
Matt Reeves, listen up." If in the sequel you give us the cat burglar Catwoman, the can handle her own against as many thugs as Batman Catwoman, and just ride that gray line between is she gonna help Batman? Is she gonna betray Batman? She rode that line in this film. You know, she tried to kill Carmine Falcone. She took out the contact lenses and stopped talking to Batman at one point. Right. And just kind of went off and do her own thing. So you see inklings, but at times I felt like she was here, then she was gone, and she came back.
Yeah, she was very in and out.
She's gone again. She was in and out of the movie. It's like if it fit the crime mob scene, they put her in, right? And it was just kind of like I wanted to see more of the partner Batman and Catwoman, the reluctant partners, you know.
Same.
Right.
That's also hard to portray so early for both of their characters, but I want that for sure.
Right.
I think it did a good job at like kind of building the chemistry between those two, but obviously I would have liked to see more than
someone is whispering in my ear.
We can tell. Go on, Dr. Mondo.
But yeah, I would have liked to see more of that partnership. And yeah, she does like kind of jump in and out of the movie. And for my taste, she's a little too morally correct in the movie. Like she has her moments where she's like, okay, I'm gonna do my own thing and it's fine. But I was expecting a little bit more strong, independent woman, Catwoman. But we'll see if this is just like her growing pains.
Yeah.
Right.
Let me express this real quick because Captain Falcon is here. She didn't want to be on the pod, but
Interesting. Very
she
strange.
wants, very interesting. She agrees with Dr. Mondo's sentiments about damn it, what did you just say about the love aspect? The
chemistry.
The chemistry. Did y'all feel she just kind of lusted after Batman, which is, you know, that's on par for Catwoman at times, but you know,
I didn't buy the love aspect that they
right,
were forcing.
like, you know,
at least right now, like I could see it
forced,
budding a little bit.
It felt
like,
forced, right?
Right.
It felt forced a little
forced,
bit.
right.
It felt, I mean, the girl, her friend who died, that's implied that's her girlfriend. Now big strong man comes in. Fuck my girlfriend.
Hey,
he is the Batman.
Fuck the dead body I just found in the trunk.
Yeah, like how does that get you aroused? Like,
right. And she's kind of, she just kind of threw herself at Batman. I mean,
this is what I'm talking about. I think it's I refuse to believe Matt Reeves thought of this. You know what I mean? Like I feel like it's
they said,
feel like
it's Catwoman.
Exactly. Like go ahead, make her do that. Make her do that.
Make her kiss her. Kiss him.
You know,
she do it in the comics. We gotta show it.
From everything you guys are saying, it almost sounds like now kind of putting it in my own head, like she wasn't even really supposed to be a part of the movie. And last minute they said, you know what, let's try and intertwine her in as many scenes as possible and add her just to add women to the movie theaters. Okay, let's do it.
I mean, I hope the goal is not to just get women in, because I love Catwoman as a character. You know, she's you know, quote unquote maybe cooler than Batman, just as a character. And like, whoa, it's fun to watch characters. It's fun to watch characters ride a moral line, the moral.
You never know what choice they're gonna make.
Exactly. Okay. Anti-heroes are more fun than heroes.
Okay.
You know, and they make that apparent when they team up with a hero. So I really hope they didn't shoehorn her in there. Like that will make me really upset.
I don't think they shoehorned her in there, but there was some potential there that they did not exploit fully in this movie.
Now hold up, I feel we're like bringing the hammer down. She did good.
She did.
She did. I'm not saying that.
I said it at the beginning.
God.
What did we like about her? I wish she would have kicked ass more. She did kick ass a little bit.
She did.
I like the safe scene, as short as it was, when she got into that safe and she was cracking it on her own. I'm like, okay, that's Catwoman. Give me more of that. She's a cat burglar. It's in her name.
Right.
What else?
Her love for cats was cool.
Her love for cats. Her stray line. Oh, I have a thing for strays. I thought that was cute. That was funny.
She drank milk to get into the role.
Ooh.
Like licked milk, like licked it.
Right. Gotta.
She didn't need to do that.
She did a good job of, you know, mixing in like that sensuality that Catwoman has with that, you know, lethal aspect that she has. It's like, she's that sensual woman, and then out of nowhere she just bears her claws at you. Like,
right.
Like she did a really good job doing
turn
that.
at any point, and that's kind of Catwoman anti-hero aspect. Can we actually, I don't know if you want to bring this up yet, but can we talk about how they integrated his new equipment that makes it more real, like Batman's equipment?
The contact lenses were probably my favorite bit.
I did like that.
The contact lenses were dope.
Detective mode. That's detective mode.
It is detective mode.
It's detective mode.
That was nice.
Yeah.
The adrenaline part was amazing to me.
Wait a minute. Hold up.
Whoa.
I like that part, bro.
No, that's debatable. Was that adrenaline?
We got some thoughts on that.
You
want to just mention that scene?
That's Venom, man. That's Venom.
Because it's green.
Yes.
Of
all the colors, you could choose, they chose
green.
So you believe
and how he was going berserk? That was
Venom. That's
so
Venom.
You guys believe Venom. He's gonna also make Bane as he's gonna be Bane's creator then?
It's gonna be something interesting.
He pumped Venom. Bane abuses Venom.
But I'm saying you're gonna think Bane got it from him?
No, man.
He just down the line.
They got it
he
from
just had
source.
a supply. He had a supply from a source, and then in that moment, just to see, this is why I believe it's a world that they live in. Like I believe this city. They did not even mention a thing about Bane at all.
Never. They didn't
Nothing.
say anything about Venom.
But
No,
the
Matt
fact
Reeves
that
did a great job at doing that.
right, the fact that you just saw his action after he injected himself and just the color of the serum itself, now you got all these theories about, oh my God, that's Venom. Where's Bane? What's he doing? How's Bane gonna come into the store? That's what's exciting. That's what I like about
No,
what
like they did a really good job with like their Easter eggs. Like
Yes.
and also like when the DA is in the like he's interrogating him like, who the hell told you this? And like, no, they run the city, blah blah blah.
Oh,
And I was like, oh, he's talking about the Court of Owls there.
Yeah, that was obvious from the jump.
Like it was obvious, like, but either way, it's
Right.
like, and then he blows up right there. Okay. And then like you see, oh, the Venom serum.
right.
There's Bane.
It was
shoot!
Don't
they
get
name
your
drop-
hopes up, bro. I really think it's just adrenaline.
Dude,
Venom.
no,
That is
No.
Venom.
no,
Don't get your hopes
He's
up.
Venom.
No.
I could be with you. I could be with you if they did not show the color
Make it
green.
green. Yeah,
They had
you're
they
right.
had like 20 other colors to choose from, man,
You're
and they
absolutely
purposely
right.
chose green. Like
It's
I
just-
just
I-
can't.
I see Batman discovering Venom through Bane. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
So if he makes it himself, then it's like now I'm confused.
No, like who
it's
says that
gonna
he
be a
made it
completely new
himself?
story.
Because I guess we don't know the context as to
Yeah.
how he has it. Did he make it? Did he buy
Did he
it off
run
of
into him
someone?
in the past? Yeah.
Did he
you're
run
right.
into him? He
Mhm.
probably could have. We
Yeah.
don't know. So but that's what's exciting. We
That's
don't
cool.
know. And then until the next Batman sequel comes out, we're gonna be talking about this.
another
saying it-
delay.
How many
delay.
years do you want them to fast forward in the sequel, if you could choose? All
Uh,
three.
If
yeah,
oh my
I
god.
think you said it best. You said
you
it
don't
best.
want them
You
to
said
fast
year.
forward. That could be an answer.
You said year 5, didn't you? You said that earlier. You said like fast forward
Yeah,
year
a
5.
good year 5, year 7 through that time frame.
Oh, you
I
mean
could-
in the context of the story? Like
Context
yeah,
of
yeah.
the story,
Like how much
yeah.
past? Yeah. Sorry.
okay.
I would say about 3 years. Yeah.
Yeah, year 5.
It's a year
sounds
5
good.
Batman. A year 5 Batman. You
Yeah.
guys all agree with that?
Yeah.
He's a little more seasoned now. Yeah, maybe he's got some rogues more appearing.
Because it
But,
would
like-
explain like his like the combat in the movie, where in this movie he seems more I guess
Able.
fisticuffs Batman.
Yeah,
Like he's not using a lot of gadgets in his fights, right? And I feel like that's what a seasoned Batman would do. This Batman's not seasoned, he's year 2.
he's
So I
mostly
do-
using the grapple. He
Yeah.
uses grapple.
the
Yeah.
grapple
Man,
hooks.
I love the grappling hooks in this movie, man.
Those are dope.
It was good.
Those were dope. Yeah,
It was.
we didn't see it.
Flying suit.
He's a brawler. He brawled. We didn't see him do more of like ninja-esque tactics. You know, smoke pellets,
He hasn't
batarangs.
met race yet. That's why.
Yeah, maybe. Very so.
He hasn't
Because
met
what?
race.
The one batarang, all he does is cut it.
Right.
Cut the wire.
That was cool.
That's-
That was cool though. Even that.
I mean, it was cool, but it's like,
yeah, even that was.
come on, man.
I thought he was
Throw
gonna
some.
throw it. I thought he was gonna throw it.
Throw
Me
some,
too,
man.
me too.
That would have been nice. That would have been nice.
And then he can't glide worth the shit.
Oh my
Yeah.
god. Can we talk about that gliding scene?
Even he was like, "Damn it."
I half expected him to, spread the wings of the bat, like as he's gliding. All I got was squirrel suit Batman, and he just collides on a train track.
No. So it's like there was a bridge. I think it was like a bridge, and I'm like, oh shit.
Oh, and he
It was a
deployed.
train
He
track.
deployed.
That was a
the,
train track.
He deployed, and I was like, whoa.
To stop him, and then it got stuck because he didn't see that coming.
But like the way he just walked it off, I couldn't. Was that supposed to be like a comedic moment?
That was
or-
definitely comedic.
But we didn't laugh. Like I didn't laugh. I was
Oh,
just
I
like,
laughed.
I think,
laughed a little.
I think it was just showing again. It's like
Year
he's
two.
still
he's year 2.
he's still growing into the role of Batman. Like he's still trying out new shit.
He obviously
Like,
knows he needs to change that.
Okay,
squirrel suit
I can
next month.
buy that.
Like all
He
the
wanted to try
gadgets that
squirrel
he
suit.
like all the gadgets that he has, it's like, okay, I'm testing this shit out, and it's like, okay, this worked. This didn't work. He's gaining experience with that.
And see, that's good storytelling too. They didn't outright just say, he's testing things out.
Yeah.
We got to take it at face value. He is fresh. Not everything's gonna work. It's trial and error at this point. And so,
Right.
he's gonna need that cape, that synthetic cape that can spread out. Oh, the book has it. The book talks about it.
The book just gives you a lot of context. Like I know the movie gave you a lot of context. If you could,
It
get
was
more-
3 hours.
What? But the book gives you a lot of things that you could already know if you were a Batman fan or even just a film fan overall. But I'm just glad I actually got this thing right here. It's only $8.
I had to borrow that from you sometime.
$8.
$8.
Is that you telling me to buy my own?
Yeah, that's me telling you about it. Or you can pay me $8 to borrow it, but you got to give it back.
Oh, right. Rental fee. Sure.
What did you guys think of Commissioner Gordon and Alfred? I guess that's a loaded question. That's two different characters. What do you think of Commissioner Gordon first?
Commissioner Gordon was great. I really liked him.
That's Jeffrey Wright, yeah?
Yeah.
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon did a really good job. He was like that. He as the only good cop basically in the city, but as Batman's unofficial partner. Like,
keyword partner. I felt like he was an actual partner to Batman.
He was.
Yes.
He was.
Yeah.
He was the unofficial partner. The only thing that was missing was Batman actually calling him partner. But he did a great job at that.
He was fantastic. He was more than just a simple assist compared to how he's portrayed. I mean, like, who was the other one that played Alfred in Jeremy Irons?
Jeremy Irons.
We talking about Alfred or we talking about Gordon? Who are we talking about right now?
Oh, no, I mixed it up. That's my bad.
Jeremy Irons played Alfred in the Justice League and
the other, the one who played Commissioner Gordon was in the Christian Bale ones was Gary Oldman.
Gary Oldman, that's what it was. Okay.
Now Gary Oldman did a great job.
Yeah. The thing is, it's Gary Oldman.
Right. Gary Oldman is such a prolific actor. Right. If he doesn't do a great job, why is he even here? But I think just how this film is a detective film, you really got to see Detective Gordon out on display here.
Right. Right. It's easy to tie his element in because it's always at a crime scene. It's always at, the police are already there. So you have that dynamic and that chemistry with Batman and the commissioner.
Right. I feel it's easier to compare it to the Nolan films because it's the most fresh. Gordon served more as just Batman's insight on, what's going on with the bigger crime families, what crimes are going on. This one really felt like a partnership. They took down Penguin together. They did that bust, just the two of them together. And then he's like, you got to punch me and then you got to get out of here.
The way he delivered that line though, because he's giving that body language too, as if because he's trying to convince the people outside of that interrogation room that that he's getting a talking down to for Batman. He's like up in his face, getting in his grill and everything. I don't know. I liked it.
Here's a guy that really believes in Batman and what he's doing.
Yes.
Against all the odds, against all the corruption. That came across very well.
The guy in a bat suit is the answer to all of this.
Yeah. It tells you how everyone in Gotham truly is crazy, right?
And that's the name of the game. I mean,
including the Batman himself.
Including the Batman himself. What did you guys think of Andy Serkis as Alfred?
I'd just like to point out, Andy Serkis is only here because of his relations with Matt Reeves. Doing the Planet of the Apes
Caesar
films.
Oh my god,
doing Caesar. Now don't get me wrong, I love Andy Serkis. I felt we didn't get enough Alfred here.
We didn't get enough Alfred. Like when he was there, he delivered.
Yes.
When he was on scene and on display, he delivered. Yeah, but we didn't see maybe enough of Alfred. I didn't mind it, but I wouldn't have minded if I saw more of Alfred as well. It
didn't call for Alfred, the story, to be so integral, but like when you send a bomb to Bruce Wayne's house and we barely seen Alfred throughout the whole movie,
and then you blow him up in front of our faces.
I was like, oh my god, did they kill Alfred?
I was gonna be disappointed.
We barely knew him.
No, I knew, I just knew they weren't gonna kill Alfred because, there was a scene in the trailer that hadn't appeared, and I was like, he's not there.
Oh, is it him in the hospital bed?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that wasn't.
I didn't even know about that one either. I was just like, wow, damn, we barely knew this Alfred. I like though, he's back and forth whether or not this is a good idea to be doing the Batman, which all Alfreds kind of did. Michael Caine did a good job doing that too. I think Alfred Gow was the one from Michael Keaton's. He seemed like, oh yeah, Bruce, go ahead. Go ahead, do it. This Alfred was definitely like, I don't support what you're doing. But
No, and it's not only that.
he's like, I love a
you're-
cipher. I love doing a cipher.
It's like
A
you're
crossword
Bruce
puzzle.
Wayne. Like Alfred was constantly the one that was saying like, "Oh, you're Bruce Wayne," kind of trying to bring him back to Earth.
Okay, so that's really good too. It's Alfred is the one who has to carry on the parental legacy. So it's really hard to do that for, you know, your longtime friends, the Waynes, when your sons are crazy trying to go beat up criminals every night.
Not only
You know?
that, it's like Alfred really in this movie, when you really come to look at it, he's the only thing that kind of makes like keeps Bruce Wayne alive. If you want to put like Batman and Bruce Wayne as two different entities, two different people, the only thing that's keeping Bruce Wayne alive and not literally like succumbing completely to Batman is Alfred. You take Alfred
Right.
and Bruce Wayne becomes Batman in every sense of the word. Like
Alfred's an anchor.
Like he
He is an
becomes the
anchor.
Bat.
And we see that in the hospital scene.
Yeah.
You know, like he's coming to terms with like he is Bruce
It's like,
Wayne.
and you see,
He
like you
cares about
finally
him.
see, okay, like you're freaking human. You have emotions. Like you have these signs of weakness, like of human weakness. Like the only thing that's keeping him grounded and not becoming a literal bat, a psychopath on the streets dressed as a bat is Alfred.
Oh, that's true.
That's
true.
Real quick, DJ SyXx has to bounce. Well, you got a gig or something real quick.
Unfortunately, I gotta go all the way to Kissimmee, and I don't want to do that after 9.
Yeah, man, you're good. We appreciate you coming. That's DJ SyXx. Everybody, DJ SyXx, you want to just drop what you've been, where we can find you and whatnot?
Oh, yeah,
He's a real DJ, folks.
Yeah, you can find me in the streets straight up. You already know what it is. No, I'm just kidding. You can find me on Instagram, DJ_SyXx. That's SyXx. Or you can just see it. I think you guys can see my name. But yeah, I mean, I do events, whatever. You guys come, you guys don't. Either way, my music slaps. So.
All right. Great to have you here,
Oh,
man.
thank you guys so much. Thank you guys
Great
for
to
having
have
me.
you.
You guys are great fans. You know, most people are fake Batman fans, but not you guys. You guys are kind of cool.
It means
thank you,
everything from you, DJ.
Please
Hey.
invite me again, please.
Yes, of course, man.
Yes.
Hey, we'll I got you. I'm gonna hit you up after this. Don't
All
worry.
right. Peace
All
out. I
right.
want to listen to the rest of this. Keep going. Keep talking.
All right, we
All
got
right,
you. We
all
got
right.
you.
All right, you guys. Peace out.
Peace out.
Peace out.
I guess the only remaining things that we haven't talked about, the crime families, you know, Falcone and Falcone, whatever.
Falcone.
Falcone and the Penguin, right?
Yeah.
The Penguin plays a pretty big role in this movie too. We haven't really touched on him too much. What a transformation, by the way,
Oh yeah.
of
Colin Farrell.
Colin Farrell. Good God, you go from Bullseye in Daredevil to this, night and day, man. Night and day.
Makes no
Crazy.
sense. I don't know what made them think, oh yeah, let's get Colin Farrell to do the Penguin, because I mean he doesn't look like the Penguin. So-
Not at all. And it's like you made him look like the guy,
Right.
and that's
right.
crazy.
And
Did
I
you
like
like it?
He delivered. Like,
he
He
delivered.
did.
Like Penguin was just, he was this mobster that was like, again, could kill you in the bat of an eye, but he was actually like funny in the dark sense. So like he was just funny as well.
Yeah.
What did he
yeah.
say in the car? You can't get me.
Oh my
You
God.
just see this car flying through the
Can we
fire.
talk about that chase scene? Amazing.
That chase scene was
Oh,
fantastic.
I loved it.
It was
I loved
fantastic.
I didn't think anything would ever top the tumbler flying over rooftops, but that was a lot of fun. That was a lot of. It's just rough, man. It's a car. It's just a car.
It's
The
just a
Batman-
car with a kick-ass engine in the trunk. That's all it is. And
Yes, and maybe some extra padding on it, but you know.
I'm telling you. Oh, wait, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying it was fun. I enjoyed watching that Batmobile. It fit his character. you know?
I'm telling you, there are scenes where, like you mentioned about the tumbler, like you didn't think another scene would top that chase sequence from the Nolan trilogy. I think what elevates a lot of these scenes, like the car chase scene in this movie, that orchestra. I mean,
Yeah.
that soundtrack,
Ooh, yeah.
when I was hearing the, I don't know if it's the trombone, the tuba, the I was in it. I was especially.
like, the music in this movie was to another level.
It was
something else. Like from beginning to end, it was just like every time you would hear it, I was like, "Oh shit!"
It was genius because you have scenes like the one we were just talking about with the penguin, where the music's not playing and he thinks he got away. He's like, "You can't catch me, bats!" And then he switches over to Batman, and it's like, brr, brr, brr. I loved it. The music elevated scenes like that for me.
Oh yeah, it definitely did.
It was great. But what about, okay, I always forget this actor's name, but you see him in mostly comedies. At least I do.
John Turturro.
John Turturro, right?
Yeah, John Turturro. Yeah.
Were you could you get that comedy part separated from him? Because at least for me, I couldn't. I've seen him in too many Adam Sandler movies. I've seen him in Transformers, the Michael Bay film. Like
Yes.
I know he did a good job as Falcone, but it was hard to separate that, you know?
Like honestly, I'm not like super familiar with his work, so I wasn't like, I didn't have that problem going in, like that I couldn't, oh, he's a comedian, I'm seeing him here. It's like, what the hell? But I don't know, he did a good job as a mob boss. Like he wasn't like there in too many scenes, but he was always kind of like ever present in the movie. But he did a really good job, just like that stoic, big time mafioso. They're just like,
right.
Like, oh yeah, it's like I run, like, yeah, the family, the Godfather type. It's like I really run this shit. Like you see me very soft spoken and all that, but in 3 seconds I can get my men to kill you, and I'm the actual fucking mayor of Gotham.
And you see, and I like his portrayal too, because the whole time he's in hiding. He's the rat,
Yeah.
He's the one that, everybody's looking for, the rat who ratted out all these big names, who ratted out the Waynes back when and whatnot. So it's his portrayal was not so grandiose where it's just like, hey, I'm the guy, I'm the Don, bow down.
Hey.
It's that subtle, what's the word? Gosh darn it. Subtle intimidation that he has.
It's more believable, at least for me.
It's more believable.
Yeah.
And he is a comedic actor. And I thought he did a good job just subduing that. And I believed it too, because, well, he's Italian, first of all, so it works.
Perfect.
If you ever seen Spike Lee's Do the Right Thing, he played that dude in the pizza shop, the racist dude in the pizza shop.
Oh yeah, that's right. That was him. Okay.
Yeah, so it worked for me. And then even his interactions with Selena were good too. I
Even with the plot twist.
I didn't think he was talking to her because that was his daughter. But then I'm like, okay, look, he's trying to atone for, or whatever. Or no, he didn't know either, right? He didn't know.
Like the movie did a good job at kind of leading you on that characters thought they knew this, but they really didn't. Just like when he's the Riddler and Batman, Bruce Wayne.
That was interesting because he technically didn't know.
He didn't know
that was Bruce Wayne. And yeah.
I
get
said,
like,
here's
you
the
were
answer,
kind of
stupid bat.
And the thing is, like, the camera looks to Bruce to Batman, and it's like you're kind of looking into his like psyche, trying to figure out like, does he know?
Does he know?
Does he know? Right.
Does he know?
Right.
No, and even like when you see all this like his walls, and it says like Batman, Bruce Wayne, blah blah blah, all that stuff, and then like this video, and like Bruce Wayne, like he thinks, oh shit, they better not open this video, because in this video he's gonna say that I'm the fucking Batman and everything's fucking screwed.
I thought that was what the encrypted video was gonna be. Yeah,
and then he just keeps on Bruce. And then when he doesn't know, and it's like this troll.
He is a troll. He was a troll. I like that about him, and I liked how he literally thought that him and Batman were on the same side. Like it wasn't a ruse. It wasn't like we're two sides of the same coin, Bats. I'm gonna stab you now. You know, it
was like no. Like
he thought they were friends.
Yeah.
It was great.
But yeah, the movie did a good job at kind of making you think that the characters knew some things and they really didn't know. They really led you on like these narratives, and then it's just out of nowhere. What? Oh.
Sounds like a good detective movie to me.
Yeah, it does.
Follow the red herring or don't follow the red herring,
yeah.
You know?
Exactly. And I guess like what we wrap up the movie with Batman saving the city from I did like how the Riddler basically was removed from the story like towards the end, and it was kind of like the people he inspired were carrying out
the after effect. Yeah.
Right.
Like he had what's the word? He had an impact. Just like Batman had an impact.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the Riddler's impact.
And then that's where the vengeance line comes back. And I love that. But Batman saves the day. Catwoman leaves to Bloodhaven, which that's a city near Gotham. Okay, we have to address this, right? They made a character reference in the jail cell.
That's confirmed.
It is confirmed.
It is.
And I will say this, the movie loses at the very least half a point for just referencing the character. The Joker, right? They reference the Joker. I like the Joker. What I don't like is WB and DC always blowing their load with the Joker. Everyone knows, yes, eventually you're gonna do a Joker.
You're gonna have the Joker. He's gotta be in it.
And that's why I don't think Matt Reeves had any say in this. I really feel that the Joker reference, because what was it? It was the Riddler in the jail cell next to the guy who does Joker, and what he said, you got a friend in me, or
essentially. That actually, now that you mention it, it does seem forced. That scene
very forced.
And I said this too. The film I thought had a couple of climaxes, and then like in the slope, the downward exit slope or whatever, that scene felt out of place. It felt really out of place for me. Like and it doesn't fit for me.
You had something going on with just the Riddler, all these other characters. Let that be their movie. I think need to see the Joker.
Like, I do understand what you guys are saying. I think what they were trying to do with that is kind of let everyone know, like, this is not a standalone kind of Batman movie, and this is gonna be part of like something else.
I think the only thing it's gonna be part of is a growing standalone Batman film franchise.
Like a Bat universe or whatever. And like, I think that's what they were kind of trying to like throw in there, like letting you know, like, hey, like, yes, this was about like, this was not a one-time gig.
I mean, I never thought I just see you didn't need that scene. You could take that scene out. I still think
I agree with you guys. You could take the scene out, and like, it really doesn't affect the movie in itself.
And in the same breath, without that scene, I still believe that they would make a sequel because again,
don't get me wrong. I'm just trying to understand like why they put that scene there. But like, for me, that scene doesn't add or take anything away from the movie. It's just like there. I wouldn't have put it in that scene, but it doesn't. It's there.
For me,
it's kind of like a tease that's like, oh, look, it's the Joker. Hey, okay, and let's move on with what's going on now.
But that's my problem right there, because now that you drop that scene, now it's giving everyone something to expect or look forward to. And I think what I really enjoyed about this movie was I didn't know what to expect from this movie. But now I'm like, okay.
For a sequel, your expectations are Joker.
Oh, well, my expectations are like, was that just a tease? Is he going to be integral in the next film? And then it gets me thinking, I really like the detective grittiness of this film. Joker doesn't really call for that, a Joker storyline. And so are they going to deviate from that? And that's going to be the big thing going into the sequel that now I have to, think about. And I'm sure other people think about it too.
Because that scene
what
out.
Although what they're trying to do, I don't know if you guys like read it or the rumors. I don't know. It's like going through the Arkham storyline, kind of like the video. It looks almost like the video games, like Arkham Asylum. I think that's what they're trying to kind of explore there. Even the Joker, when you see the silhouette, it looks really similar to the Joker of the Arkham video games.
With
like the hairline and everything. If you look at the silhouette of the Joker in the movie, it looks really similar to the one of the Arkham video games.
Right. It is the over exaggerated features that we see in the Joker.
So I think it's he's teasing, hey, so we're going to the Arkham storyline ish, or kind of. But I do agree. I do agree with you guys. I wouldn't have put that scene. It doesn't take away or add anything to the movie. That was just pure fan service what they put in there.
Right. And it's it's there's good fan service, and then there's
that's just that is it's forced fan service.
Right. And part of it, because we have some confirmation on what the future of this Bat universe is gonna be. We already know we're getting 2 sequels. That is confirmed. And Matt Reeves's Batman verse, completely separated from the DC extended universe. This is just going to be Warner Brothers and DC's own Batman lore that they're going to keep expanding for the movies, at least. We're getting 2 sequels. And then this is where I was questioning, how can you do shows on this? So there were 2 shows that were greenlit originally. You had a Gotham PD show.
Yeah.
And a Penguin centered show that was going to focus on the Penguin aspect. We got details that it was supposed to be Scarface. So Penguin's rise to the status of the crime boss as Penguin.
Yeah.
And then for the Gotham PD side, this is going to be weird, but it was going to take place during year 1 of Batman's career. And it was supposed to be from the perspective of a corrupt Gotham PD, police officer. That's what it was going to. The reason why I use past tense is because
they scratched that.
They scrapped it, and it was recent.
Thankfully,
it was. You didn't want a Gotham PD.
Just the Penguin one. The Penguin one sounds cool. Don't get me wrong. The Gotham PD one, I'm
it's questionable.
They already did the Gotham show.
Also, was the Gotham show based on Gotham PD?
Jim Gordon was the main character of the Gotham show.
Gotham PD is just
I didn't know that. Wow.
Gotham PD is a rehatch of Gotham, but from another point of view.
Okay.
I'm just not a fan of rushing a franchise. Let the franchise naturally build.
Let it simmer. Let it
simmer. Yeah. Okay. Let this movie gestate. I don't think I necessarily care to watch Penguin's up and coming. Hey, I'm Ozzy. Whatever. I'm here for the films first, and then you can start building around it, I guess. But in this day and age, I guess it makes sense. They want to show that coincides with the films. So I guess I got to get with the program, but just give us Batman. I don't know.
Well, Matt Reeves in an interview, in the same interview where he basically said the Gotham PD show just got canned, he said that show turned into what's going to be an Arkham series.
Right.
And it's going to be horror-esque. And seeing as how he delivered the noir aspect of Batman, I could see him doing a horror element with something like Arkham. How he's going to do that, I don't know. But if you guys have played the Arkham games, there are some horror elements in exploring Arkham Asylum as Batman, especially when the villains are let loose. And I would have appreciated, let's say that Joker scene wasn't in this movie. The fact that they're making an Arkham series, I would be more excited just thinking about, oh, wow, you know who's in Arkham all the time? Joker. Maybe the Arkham series is about Joker. Maybe it's going to reference Joker. I don't know.
Harley Quinn used to work on
Harley Quinn used to work in
there's a
Arkham.
lot you can build around. I like the Arkham idea better than the Penguin idea, better than the
the Arkham
Gotham
idea
PD.
sounds really cool. And again, it's what I go again, refreshing. Like horror, like a horror superhero.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Like-
it's all world building too. I'm here for world building. I like world building.
And yeah, I mean, the film, at least I think it did just that, at least.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
maybe that's why we're getting these type of shows and greenlits for sequels. But I guess the last thing I guess we can cover, the final scoring, right? We've been praising the movie. We've had some negatives about it here and there. Overall, what would you guys give the Batman out of 10? I can tell you right now, I love the movie. It had its problems, but I'm giving it the strongest 8 I can give it. An 8 out of 10. I think what it did well, it excelled at. The cinematography, so a lot of the scenes in the movie can be like posters on my wall. I love the camera
The
shots in a lot of
cinematography was
scenes.
beautiful.
It was, I mean, the cinematography, the soundtrack, a lot of the fight scenes in the movie were great. One of the things I didn't like was how Batman was bulletproof in all these scenes.
No, the best, like one of the most, I would say, best film fight scenes was the one where Batman is it is completely dark, and you just
The
only
guns
thing-
providing
the only
light.
The
thing
guns
that
are the
lights
okay.
up
Yeah,
That was a
is the
perfect
are the
shot.
guns.
That was a perfect shot.
that
Like,
was
and
nice.
you see basically in slow motion everything because
Strobe lights. It was like strobe lights.
and it was that scene was so good.
Yeah, that was
It was.
that was
That
spirited.
scene was so freaking good and so badass.
It
and he's
was.
and at the end he's just walking towards like a one-man tank, and they're just shooting at him, and he just wow.
oh
So good.
man.
So are you
Yeah.
sitting at what? And Dr. Mondo, what's your score?
Oh yeah.
I would say a 9 out of 10.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. What did you want it to improve on to meet that 10?
I think a little bit more Catwoman was the thing. That was like the only thing that kind of held me from a perfect 10 in that movie.
Okay.
I would have liked a little bit more Catwoman. I loved Zoe Kravitz, how she did everything a Catwoman. I just wish she had a little bit more screen time.
That is my sentiments too. If you're gonna promote Catwoman, I want a bat and cat film.
Yeah.
And it just
That-
felt
the cat.
the cat only
and
came up when it served the purpose. I'm a 8.5. I really enjoyed
Okay.
this film. I like the style choices. That I love the thematic elements. I love the overarching themes of the story. And I was really sold on Robert Pattinson. I think he did a fantastic. Him, Paul Dano, Zoe Kravitz. I think the whole cast did a fantastic job. And just to me, it felt like a Batman film. And like I haven't felt like a Batman film since like Michael Keaton. Granted, that was campy Batman. This was like modern day neo-noir type of Batman.
This was a graphic novel come to life.
Yes.
It was good.
And
I mean, yeah.
shout out to Matt Reeves, because man, he was the guy to do it. When they said Matt Reeves, I had not a doubt in my mind this movie wasn't going to be good. Only when it was like Robert Pattinson announced, I was like, ah.
And hot take from my point of view,
Oh,
I
boy.
think this is I think this is the best Batman movie I've seen. And I'm comparing it to Dark Knight, and I loved Dark Knight. This movie hit me harder than Dark Knight.
I'm gonna say
I think it's the best Batman movie.
Yeah.
That's not discrediting anything.
No,
from
Right.
same. No,
Nolan
exactly.
trilogy.
Like
They're
I
great
love the
films.
Nolan trilogy. I absolutely adore the Nolan trilogy. But if I'm gonna say like which is the best Batman of them all, this movie.
The Batman, the definitive.
Yeah, like
Batman.
this
You think that was the name? That's why they chose the name like that? Because like this is the Batman.
That is a reference to the hit TV show The
Don't
Batman.
you dare. Don't you dare. Don't you dare.
But yeah, like that's my hot take.
Okay.
I'm gonna withhold judgment. I know right now for me it's a toss up between this and Batman Begins, and you know, people say what you want. I believe Batman Begins is the superior Nolan film. Whatever. I'm gonna wait. I think Dr. Jace, we're gonna come back and talk more about Batman films on another podcast.
I feel like it's warranted to do a Batman ranking film, especially after a movie like this. Like I feel like you need to. People are going to be trading blows for the Dark Knight trilogy and this movie. I mean, these are the real contenders. I feel like, like they're definitely the ones that people are going to box over. But so you're at 8.5, strong 8.5.
Yeah.
Okay.
Again, it was great. There's some things I would have preferred to see. Sometimes I felt the runtime was really long.
And I feel like that's part of like my score as well, a little bit. 3 hours. I mean, I already hate certain other movies that come to 3 hours sometimes. And I'm like, listen, if you need 3 hours to tell the story, fine, do it.
I felt this one had multiple climaxes. I said that before, and
especially in the third act. Felt in the third act.
Yes. Yeah. So that was my thing.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, 8 out of 10 for me. I feel like it's only gonna get better from here. And that's why I give it that score, because I'm like, dude, I know like he did so many things so damn well. All you need is just to fix a couple things here and there, and then bam, you got a masterpiece. Is it a 10 out of 10 from IGN? No, no, not really. But it's still great.
I think it already is a masterpiece, but like obviously it does have its things.
In some aspects, I do consider it one. Like again, that cinematography, I can't get over it.
Yeah, like cinematography and music, like wow, like it just blew me away.
Oscar worthy.
I would say.
Are we gonna see?
That score,
it's
that score has to be. There's no way.
Oscar worthy will be contending. Yeah, cinematography will be contending, no doubt. I don't doubt that at all. Right.
Yeah, like I would say, and easily like best director, like Matt Reeves is gonna maybe be in the conversation.
Best director.
If they quit the superhero hate. If they quit that,
they have a bias.
Joker.
I was gonna say Joker was the last film to
the only like really.
But
take
not
out special effects.
Superhero film.
It's still, but it's the superhero genre. It is the comic book genre.
Yeah.
Like take out special effects. Joker's Joker. Well,
it's a superhero origin story.
Like the Dark Knight trilogy win like any award? Sorry, I do not know.
Actually,
I think it got some sound effects, some mixing.
Well, Heath Ledger got an honorary.
Oh yeah,
not an honorary. He got.
Oh, he won it.
Oh, he won it. No, yeah.
Post, whatever.
Posthumous. Yeah, posthumous.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But so it's not that the Academy really doesn't have a hate to it. It's just like Joker was that good, and I think that this will at least be in the run-in for some awards in the.
I think so. Yeah.
I would say especially cinematography. If it's not,
it's a crime.
Especially cinematography, music. And I could say like Matt Reeves at least be nominated. I would say nominated.
We'll see. I have high hopes for where the franchise is going to go. Keep it separate from DCEU. I'm set. I'm satisfied. Fantastic. But yeah, I would say we pretty much covered everything in The Batman. Gave us some of the great, some of the not so great, but still okay. It's all right. Some scenes were all right. And Matt Reeves, keep at it. Keep delivering. I'm excited for some of the series, at least the Arkham one. I'm excited for Arkham.
Thank you for delivering the Caped Crusader we deserved.
Exactly. So, yeah. But that wraps up our deep dive of The Batman on the Yonkō Table. Let us know what you all think in the comments below. Are you here for a Battinson universe with the Riddler, Joker, Arkham? Do you think this is the right direction for the Batman moving forward for the foreseeable future? Because we're they're gonna ride this train for at least the next 5 to 10 years, like easily, 100%. Yeah, what were some of your likes? What were your dislikes about the movie? We want to hear your thoughts. And if you liked what we had to say, leave us a thumbs up or share us around wherever you hear us. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram at the Yonkō Table. And let us know what you guys think overall. But with that said, I am your Yonkō host, Dr. JaceAttorney, fellow Yonkō GrandMasterHoop, and Supernova DrMondo. Signing off, guys, and take care.
Vengeance is coming.
Vengeance. Holly!
Oh, cut it.